Welcome to the world of MCA Discovision.
To begin playback of a disc, turn the player power on, place the disc on the spindle. Use the play button to start.
Discovision that you be the boss. Now I'd like to show you some of the valuable things your MCA Discovision system lets you do.
Most persons find it more convenient. Gently pull up as you press down on the center shaft with your thumb. You'll hear a click. Simply plug one jack into this outlet.
How about that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Discovision.
This red light comes on.
Simply press stop. After I've stopped the action, you're going to practice using these buttons. The Discovision player gives you many special capabilities. Stop, play, slow, forward and reverse.
Imagine a dog chasing a rabbit around a tree.
How can you get there in a hurry? Now you enter the number just like dialing a push-button telephone. 2, 6, 3, 2, 4, search. Discovision. By the way, notice that the sound cuts off when you're running at anything other than normal speed. Use one of the step buttons. One single frame of picture is now held on the screen for as long as you want. Take as much time as you want, you're in control. Here, step forward. You found me again. Welcome back.
All right, there we go. There, I started early. How's this? Look at that. Oh man, my mic is hot, 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 hot. All right, let's back that off a little bit. All right, fair disclosure. Once I finish this, this will be a whole bottle of wine. So it's gonna be a good stream. LTTstore.com. Wait. Hang on. There we go. Sub to LTT. I don't know where I had LTT store sticker, but I think I put it somewhere else. So, all right. So I've got some boards that people have fried. I got two from one guy because he's just got really bad luck. One was a hot end cleaning mishap where the wire brush shorted out and LPC is blown, so we're going to swap the LPC on that one. The second one had a fan short and blew, like, right fuckered that MOSFET. You see that there? Yeah, shit's fucked. And the LPC is dead. So, I'm going to attempt to resurrect these. Actually, I'm going to have to step out for a second, pull my car in the garage, because I hear hail. We're under severe thunderstorm watch, so if I drop out, that's why. I'll be right back, because I hear hail, and I got to pull my car in the garage. Come here. Get in here. Go. Whew. Fuck. Alright. Literally running through the house, and I'm fat, so... Shit. Yeah, there's, like, hail that's... I don't know, where's something for scale? I don't know, like, this big, coming down from the sky right now. So, fuck. Whew! That's not good. Why the fuck is my AC set to fucking 80 degrees in this room? Jesus Christ. I'm a fat guy. I need my fucking AC. Alright, let's Let's make it nice in here. There we go. I don't know. It just my HHR was outside. My wife's car, which is one that's actually worth something, is in the house. Whatever. I heard it. Like, I knew we were under severe thunderstorms, but they never said that it was going to hail. They just said it was going to be thunderstorms. So, yeah. But I, luckily last night we had hail too, and I cleared out, my work area. So I have it strategically set up. So this is, I'm in the garage if you guys don't know this. So we had a 4-car garage on the house, and we put a wall up, which is right here. And this is my office, because the alternative was I stick the office in the basement. I didn't feel like being stuck in the basement. So anyways, yeah. So cars are in the garage, we're good. My soldering iron is heated up. So let's see. Who's all here in the chat before we get into this? We got Michael Truma M. Ghosty 616. Permanently Patriotic. Travis Stamper Destroyer. Andrew Baguette. Michael Cassell. Hashtag here for the rants. You ain't wrong. Justin 3D. Will you all ever take Amazon Pay? I have to revisit that, because we did, and the problem is their plugin for WooCommerce, which is what we use, would not allow you to add order notes. So we had things that required you to have order notes in order to request certain things, which we don't utilize really anymore, aside from like a custom one-off type order. But I will look into that tomorrow. Let me fire up my management system here and put that in, because we do have an Amazon Pay account. So here, let me see. Check Amazon Pay plugin, see if it works now. So, all right, I just made a task there. So, nice. Is bourbon next? I don't know. I got plenty of beer. Tim, you're not wearing the Amazon t-shirt tonight. I don't know what you mean by Amazon t-shirt. Let's see. What the hell? Can't find the keys. I can't. I had set them on like a little bookcase that's by our kitchen, and apparently at some point I had moved them into the bedroom on my nightstand. So, how is everyone dealing with this quarantine craziness? Lots of frustration and alcohol. How's that? Let's see here. Damn, you could run. You're doing better than me. Oh God. Yeah, it's I'd be working out, but Amazon fucking canceled my order for my weights. I have equipment to make like a little half-ass gym in my basement, and no weights. So like literally I decided to, like, I rarely spend money on myself. Most of the crap I buy is for the company, and you know, it's electronics and stuff that can, you know, benefit the company and development stuff. But rarely do I spend money myself. So I said, screw it, I'm going to take some money and I'm going to buy some equipment and build a gym in my basement, because we have a full basement that's, you know, for the most part it's unfinished. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to put a little gym down there, because I have a gym membership and I never get time to use it, because just travel time, it takes me about an hour to get to and from the gym. It sucks. So anyways, I spent money on a bunch of equipment. I got a bench, I got a power rack, some shelving, some plate stands. What else did I get? Lighting. So like just cheap LED shop lighting to screw, because the basement's unfinished. I'm just going to screw it right to the joists. And then just a cheap Vizio TV I got for literally like $30, because I had a bunch of Best Buy rewards. So the goal is to be able to go downstairs and work out, but I ordered a barbell with weights, so a 300-pound 7-foot Olympic barbell with weights and a 150-pound dumbbell set. The barbell was supposed to show up today, never showed up. Amazon has no idea where the fuck it is. They canceled the dumbbell set after waiting 3 weeks. So I bought all this stuff before all this crazy shit happened. And they just canceled it. They're like, oh, we don't know where the fuck it is. Cancel the order. Like, come on. So anyways, I got some resistance bands. I'm going to set up all the stuff I have and at least do that. So, let's see. That Electro Boom shirt looks good. Fuck yeah. Yeah, here you go. Full bridge rectifier. It's not the puny single diode rectifier. Hell yeah. Yeah, Tim's going to attempt to get swole. The goal is to be able to eat whatever the fuck I want and at least maintain a healthy weight, because I'm about... I'd like to get down to like 210. I'm at like 270 right now. So I'd like to get down to like 210 by the end of the year. And I really like weightlifting. I hate cardio. I've tried it. Back in 2012, I was like 200 pounds. And I looked good. But if I can get down to like 200, 210, that'd be good. Or at least just get my BMI down. But I really enjoy weightlifting. Like, that's the one thing I really enjoy. Also, aside from alcohol, I've cut pretty much everything else out. My wife and I are like getting rid of like white grains, limiting other carbs and stuff. So I don't have like potato chips around. I've got like veggie chips and like tuna salad snack things, granola bars, protein bars, that kind of stuff. So just trying to eat better. Lots of salad, lots of kale. I love kale. My wife hates kale. But the goal is to try to get myself in better shape by the end of the year, because my health has definitely suffered from running this business. I've been making too many personal sacrifices, and my health is one of them. So even if I don't have time to do more projects, I want to at least have time to take care of my body. So, because it's the only one I got. So anyways, these are some boards. Just for my reference, so these are associated with our internal ticket number 24706. I'm not going to give out the person's information, but just so I have a record of this repair being done, I have that. So anyways, let's see. I was going to send... Oh, you guys are chatting. Andrew S. Oh, what's up, buddy? All right. What do you do with kale? I eat it. I have... So we actually bought some like veggie burgers, and I like meat. I'm not giving up meat. I'm not giving up bacon or steak or beef. I can't do it. Life's too short. I'm not giving up meat, sorry. And I'll have some alcohol, you know, once a week maybe, if that. So my wife does not like red wine, so I drink the wine that she has friends bring over, and I really don't care. It actually tastes pretty good. I have no idea what the fuck I'm drinking. It's just red wine. So yeah. Anyways, I munch it raw. I put the kale, I don't cook it. I put it in I basically make a salad. I'm doing kale with spinach and some cheese, some croutons. I know it's carbs. I don't need them, but I love croutons. The goal is to not get obsessed and count macros and all that stuff. It's just eating better. That's it. Just not eating shit all the time. Not having tons of snacks around that I'm just constantly munching on, and you know, eating carbs because I'm bored. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be doing for like breakfast. I got some flatbread. I got some we're gonna do flatbread with over easy eggs and sausage with a slice of cheese. Ooh, hell yeah. And doing all whole grain stuff. So switching over to whole grain, like my wife's stomach is really sensitive, so switching over to whole grain stuff, we found that processed like white type of breads, heavily processed simple carbs tend to upset her stomach. So we're switching over whole grain. I really don't give a shit. I don't really care if I eat whole grain or white. I don't care. You know, so the goal is for us to both get in better shape. And if anybody has a hookup on a barbell set with weights and everything, let me know, because I literally have everything to use them except for the weights. So I've been trying to find them, but they're out of stock everywhere. So yeah, but yeah, just trying to eat better. Nope, not doing any specific diet. I'm literally just looking at stuff and going, okay, I can get white bread or I can get multigrain. You know, that kind of stuff, you know, except, I mean, I could do keto. I did keto before. Because, like, you know, low carb, you can eat steak, you can eat beef, you can eat turkey, chicken, like meats, cheeses, bacon, like, it's great. And that does work. It's a lot of work. So I'm just starting simple, cutting out all the crap, and just trying to make better choices when we purchase food. Not going out to eat as much, so we're saving money too. And quite frankly, I prefer to just eat at home. Like 90% of the time, my wife is a fucking curse when it comes to going out to eat, because 90% of the time, they fuck our order up. If I go somewhere to get food by myself, okay, or with friends, the order will be correct. If I take the wife along with me, it'll be fucked up 90% of the time. Like, they'll forget something, they'll get it completely wrong. I don't know what it is, but she's like a curse when it comes to food service. So it's just, I don't miss going out to eat. I would much rather stay in, cook our own food. I'm going to dust the grill off and clean that out. I love grilling. So, and in general, I've noticed that I just feel better eating not as much processed shit. So, enough about diets. This isn't what you guys are fucking here for. But I mean, this is a hangout stream, so anything goes. So let me switch over to the scope, and we can take a closer look at what's going on here. So you can see here, this one's very clear. So we can tell really easily like what the point of failure was. When it comes to an easy board, especially, because when you short the thermistor to the 24 volt or 12 volt line, there's a certain area of the chip that gets burned. So it's very easy to see where the failure occurred. So as you can see there's like right in that circled area, you can see that it's fucked. So as soon as you see that the chip has a bulge, what happened was that part got really hot and it melted the plastic. So hopefully this one should just be a CPU swap. Now the process is we're going to have to remove this chip from the board. So we're going to use some, they call it like chip quick. It's a low melting point solder. So we're going to need to put flux on here. Ignore all the scabs on my fingers. I've been hurting myself apparently. But we're going to put some flux on here and then hit it with some low melting point solder. Chip Quick is a brand name of it. And then this will allow us to take the CPU off. We'll clean the pads off and we'll put a new one on. Now I'm going to try my reflow heat gun that I have to see if I can actually solder on the new chip with it. In terms of removing the chip, it's a little bit harder with the heat gun to remove it, so I'm going to just use my soldering iron and the low melting point solder. I do think I'm going to try to pry this off. So I mean, actually I'll just leave it because I have extra of these headers, so if I melt this I can replace this and it's not going to matter, because with the what's the word I'm looking for, with the heat gun, it's going to blast hot air out in all directions. So but yeah, let me get chat open on my other screen here. Yeah, so keto is great if you like really want to watch every little thing you're doing. But it's a pain in the ass. I've done it before. That's how I lost a bunch of weight. So I was like 260 up until 2012. And then I did keto and I lost weight. I was down to like 205. So yeah, aluminum foil works too. That requires me to go and get aluminum foil. Kapton tape would work. I have Kapton tape. I was gonna give up vaping just because everybody's I'm tired of people nagging me about it, but with all this shit going on, I don't want to be dealing with I don't want to be dealing with nicotine withdrawal. I've already kind of cut out caffeine for the most part. But you know what? We all have our vices, and we're adults, and I like it, so. All right. Let's get the flux out. Let me channel my inner Rossman. Also, if you guys have not heard of Louis Rossman, you really are missing out. All right, so let's just get these all coated with some flux here. Start dipping. Ew, is that the stuff you put in your lip? If so, that stuff that's gross. You gotta like spit and stuff. I had some guys when I worked for a trucking company doing IT. There were guys that did it. That stuff was so gross. You know, out of respect for the wife, because I know she doesn't care that I vape. But I only do it out here in the garage. I don't do it in the house. Speaking of which, I need to change my batteries. Also, my glass is empty, so let me go get a beer. Whew. All right. Got some Youngling. I got a ton of it in my fridge. Oh, you're talking about, Travis, you're talking about on my my personal channel? YouTube fucking removed the video. They flagged it and said that it was inappropriate or some shit. Yeah, so I don't even have a copy of it because I streamed right from their website, like through their web UI. I didn't even use Streamlabs, so it's fucking gone. Well, the funny thing is, Amazon can't get me a set of weights, but they can get you a dildo in 2 days. So, you know, priorities, essential items. All right. So I got my fume extractor on here. I broke a little bit of the low melting solder off, so I'm just going to set it on here. And the goal is, I'm actually looking at my screen while I'm doing this because it's way easier than looking at the actual board. So when you use this stuff, it has a low melting point, and what you do is you kind of drag it along here. Now, I don't care, the CPU is screwed, so I just want to drag it across the pins, and you want it to basically mix with the existing solder on there. And we need to do this on all 4 sides, and then we're going to hit it with the soldering iron, and we'll be able to remove it. You can't get beer in Wisconsin? What the hell is going on up there? That's like, Wisconsin is known for beer and brats and cheese. How the hell can you not get beer in Wisconsin? I do have Youngling. I've got like fucking 20 cans of Youngling. It's German, I believe. It's actually, I think it says brewing good times for 190 years, and Samantha's like an expert on this. Apparently, they're like the oldest brewery in the U.S. or something like that. So now, when you're working on stuff like this, you want to make sure you can see here we've got capacitors around here. These are on the 3.3 volt rail. You do not want to get this on here because we don't want to desolder the caps. We're just desoldering this CPU here, okay? Yeah, oldest brewery in the U.S. It's not my favorite beer, but it's good. Shout out to Wisconsin though. My favorite beer is Spotted Cow, hands fucking down. Which I also have 24 bottles of in my fridge. Oh, you can't get Youngling in Wisconsin. You can get it here in Indiana. I picked up the wife some white wine the other day, so she's all stocked up. Yeah. All right. So you can see here I've coded all the pins, okay? And the white balance on this camera sucks. So I apologize. I'm not made of money. So sometimes I gotta use cheap Chinese shit. And let me see if I adjust the white balance on here. But you guys may be able to see here that there we go. All right, I'm just gonna blow it out a little bit so you can see the solder. So it's cool now, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit each of these four corners, okay? One, two, or four sides. And we're going to heat it all up at the same time. And you can see here, like, look how quick it melts. Very low melting point. Like, you can see there, look at that. So I'm going to hit all these so it's liquid, and then I'll be able to take the chip off pretty easily. So we'll clean the board, and then we'll put some solder paste on, and I'm going to use this to try the heat gun out, okay? So, like I said, the customer screwed this one up. So how we do repairs here is I'll try and repair them, and only if we repair them do we actually charge people, because I feel like that's fair. So as you can see here, it's starting to move on me, okay? I'm going to take my tweezers here. Except they're really crappy tweezers. I'm on the beach. There we go. Okay. I definitely want to have like an open house this summer. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta check and see where our pool water level is because we lost some water for some reason. And I'm filling it. Yeah, we're still low. Alright. Alright, so as you can see here, the chip is gone. You see how easy that came off? So what I'll do is I'll clean up all these pads here with the solder wick. Okay, see here? Take the soldering iron. And we want to get all that stuff. We don't want to spend too much time on the pads because we don't want to damage the pads. Now, these boards are 2-ounce copper, but it's still possible to lift the pads. And some pads don't have any function, but you do want to keep all the pads intact that you can. What flux am I using? MG Chemicals, no clean. So, because if I don't get it all off the board, it's not going to basically be acidic and degrade the PCB. So it's expensive, but like when compared to cheaper flux, but I'd rather use the better stuff, especially when I'm dealing with customer stuff. Alright, so you can see I got the pads all cleaned up here. And I'm going to take one of my Kimtech wipes and soak it with some 99% IPA. And we're just going to clean this up here. Flux off. And hopefully all this needs is a new LPC. Most of the time, it's just the LPC. And we can put a new LPC on here. Yes, we do need to have a Hoosier Club meetup here. So if you look here, there's like a couple pads right there at the very center of my fingertip, where and on the right side here, you can see there's a little like, it's not flat, it's rounded. So let me hit that with the solder wick again. All right. So a couple right here. There's one right here. All right, so I'm happy with that. Look at that. Nice clean pads. So now if we look, I don't see any damage on any of the other stuff. Luckily, all the caps and everything usually survive a hot end short. So what we want to do now is actually put a new CPU on here, and the NXP logo needs to be on this side facing the TH3D logo. So let me grab a new CPU. Now these CPUs have no bootloader on them, so I'm going to also need to program the bootloader with a FTDI programmer, and then load our firmware. So I've got a brand new LPC that I just took out of the package. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try our hands with the soldering with the hot air. So let me put some paste on here and see how this works. So this is low melting point. What is this? 137C. So let me set I'm going to set this to like 200. And then we're going to put some paste on here. Now what should happen is, as we hit it with the hot air, all the solder should kind of flow into all the joints. But if not, we'll do it the old-fashioned way with the soldering iron. So normally you would use a stencil, but here's the thing. When you heat solder up, it just naturally kind of flows to where it should go. All right. So I'm going to need to take my hat off so I can get in close and position the new LPC on here. Hey, got it pretty close on the first try. So what we want to see is that all the pins line up. All right, we're pretty close here. Also, I just want to say I love you guys. Like, I don't care if you're a customer or not. I love you guys are willing to watch and hang out while I'm fixing stuff. I really appreciate it. All right, so everything's lined up pretty well. So now we need to hit it with our heat gun. So I have it set at 200C. The solder says the melting point is 137. So in theory, this should be enough to solder it. Yeah, 137C. No clean flux, too. I'm all about that no clean flux life. Okay? So let's see. We're not going to need to weigh it down. Not at all. May need a little more heat. Because the problem is the board is taking most of the heat away, so I'm going to bump it up to like 250. There we go. It's starting to flow in. Yeah, I've got the air set at max. So you can see there it is pulling in a little bit. I am going to bump the temp up just a smidge here. You don't want to go over like 300 on these. I don't know how accurate this is, so Okay, so it's looking pretty good, except I definitely could be a little less generous with the solder paste in the future because I see some bridges here. So I'm going to use my iron to clean it up. But you can see the CPU is very well lined up. Everything kind of just settled into place. So I'm going to just hit it with the iron to get some extra paste off. Oh, might help if my iron was on. Apparently I turned it off. Yeah, we did more streams on the stuff we got. And the wood printer has actually been running great. It's printing face shield frames. I bought that printer as a joke, and it works better than some of the actual machines I got from companies for reviews. Bluer. All right, so let me just clean up the extra solder. So I know I needed to use. This is the first time using a hot air gun to do a chip, so I'm learning. So I'm gonna touch them all up. That's actually looking pretty damn good. How's the print firm doing? It's going good. We actually hired a part-time person literally just to cut the shields on the laser. All right, so let's do this side. Yeah, definitely the only thing to change would be a little less solder next time. I think some flux is in order in here. Flux makes everything better. That's looking good. I'm using the old school Hakko, Hakko, FX888-D. That's my go-to. All right, so just this last side here, and I'm actually going to hit all these again with the with flux and the iron just to make sure everything's good. But if I use less solder paste on the next one, I think we'll be in really good shape because all of these got soldered. Now I had to use about 300C to actually get it taped, but perfectly fine. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. You can see I lined that chip up damn good. So I'm going to put some more paste or flux on here. And then just hit it with the iron just to make sure every pin's done. And then we'll clean it off with some IPA. I actually have flux remover too. Yeah, this extractor is a Hako. I'll be honest, I'll live it with you guys. This extractor was like 80 bucks. I think it's a little overpriced for what it is, but I've had it for like 3 years and it still works, so I can't really complain. Yeah, I can definitely say the paste plus the hot air makes this a lot easier. Then you just touch it up with the iron. All right, so how's that look, guys? Obviously, there's flux all over it. But once I clean that off, oh man, there's a lot of lightning outside. Hopefully Comcast doesn't drop out. Or my power. So usually what I'll do, I'll grab a Kimtech. All right, so I'm gonna go step outside and use the flux remover because it smells like ass. But as you guys can see, everything is good. That's all soldered on. Only got a little melty on the header. I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, look at that. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I just hit it with the flux remover. And then usually what I'll do is I want to look at all the joints, make sure I don't see anything. So I'll get in close with the scope here. Now that's probably just flux right there if you see between those pins. Now just to be sure, I will hit this here. Yeah, it's just flux. Which is fine, it's all no clean, so it doesn't matter if it stays on the board, it's not going to affect anything. That's why I like using no clean flux, because it doesn't really matter. Now you can see there's a little ball of solder right here in the corner. But that's really not going to do anything, so I'm just going to leave it, because to try to get, I mean, I could try to, actually, hang on. Let me see if I can get my pliers in, or my tweezers in here. And now I just moved it. Let me see if I can get it. There. Alright, that'll be fine. I will hit this again with the flux cleaner, but I'm just checking solder joints right now. Look at that. Some of my Kimtech wipe. You can see all those are soldered. Let me just make sure that's flux and not solder on those last couple of pins there. Yep, just flux. So you can see there, it's definitely flux. So the flux cleaner is kind of a pain. Sometimes it gets everything off on the first go. Other times it doesn't, but you can see there, it melts right away. It's just flux. So it's not gonna short anything out. And that's what you want to be concerned of, because if that was solder or the solder paste, then you could short some pins out. So you can see there as I'm melting it, you can see all the pins are soldered up. We're looking real good. And we're ready to flash the bootloader at this point. So to flash the bootloader, I need to get my STM, or not my STM, my FTDI programmer on here. I saw it, oh, here it is. I was like, I know I had it floating on my desk here. And if you guys couldn't tell, I'm using a Logitech webcam, which is why the autofocus isn't fucking working. Bria, let me fire up my software. Alright. So I need to hook up a couple things. So I got a programmer here. It's on 3.3 volts. And I have to pull up my documentation here. I can't remember which is the RX and TX pins. So let me get that in here. Because right now these chips have no bootloader on it. So I need to flash the bootloader on the new chip. So I have to go into my, I think it's product files, easy board. There we go. Okay, test procedure. From Paquette Engineering, he has provided me with the testing diagram. We use the Baofeng for the shop, communications from the house to the shop. It's a FRS 11. Nothing fancy. All right, so my ground is on the bottom pin, which is white, and VCC, which is 3.3, is black. So on my breakout cable, white, black is VCC, which is 3.3, and then my TX needs to go to RX, so that would be purple. And then my RX needs to go to TX, and that would be gray. All right. I plug that in. You can see we've got the power LED on. And now I need to switch over to my my programming thing here. Main monitor. Oh God. I hit the wrong button. What the hell is the program called? I know I have it installed on here. Shit, what the hell is the program called? Oh, Flash Magic. So let me open here. There we go. So I make sure I have the bootloader, and COM11 seems correct. All right, let's see. There we go. We're programming the bootloader. If I switch over here, you guys will see. All right, so the bootloader is done. Man, it's really raining out here. All right, so holy shit. Let me show you guys this. That's oh, I changed my resolution. Hang on. That's outside right now. So if my internet drops or my power goes out, you know why. All right, so all I should have to do now is connect the LCD. And then flash firmware on here. So I need a mini USB. Because I'm just going to run the power. So if you're not stop running your power off of a power supply, you switch it over, jumper over from reg, which is on the left, to USB. I'm in the garage. It's attached to the house. So now, if I plug this in, we're not gonna have anything on the screen. So, but it is lighting up, which is good. So I'm just gonna copy one of the precompiled firmware files over. Holy shit! Do you guys hear this? It is like hailing like fucking crazy right now. Holy shit. Like, look at, you guys can see the hail on the ground on my camera. This is outside the shop. Holy shit. It is coming down. My wife just came out here because she's scared of the storm. All right, let me put a firmware file on here. I'm just gonna grab one of our. I think I actually have the test firmware, so I'm just gonna flash that. Here it is. Here's the test firmware. I'm copying it to the SD. What's up, Kyle? Thank you. All right, so now if everything went correctly, I should be able to plug this in, and then we'll get LCD. So let's see if I fucked up the repair. USB cable fucked up. Uh-oh, something's going on with my USB. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's trying. I think the flash got fucked up. Well, it just mounted the USB. Except I'm not getting good LCD. Something happened with the with my USB. I don't know if you saw the light cut out, because this runs off USB. All right, let me try flashing that one more time. I think that was just my computer. I don't think it had anything to do with the I don't think it had anything to do with the storm going on. Unless the data lines going to the LCD are fucked up. Yeah, this is a Creality LCD. So, all right, let's try it again. Hey, there we go. Cool. It was just a bad flash. Now, if you notice here, it says TMC connection error. That is because it doesn't have, what's it called? Because it doesn't have 12 volt or 24 volt power. So if you're running off the USB on most boards, if they have TMCs and you get this does not mean your board's bad. This means that it doesn't have power. Okay? So, but you can see this is pulling up. So I'm going to flash a regular firmware on here. And then we're going to go ahead and test the end stops and everything. And make sure the thermistors are reading correctly. Because I want to make sure that nothing else is screwed up on here. Because like I said, this had a thermistor short, which is when 24 volts, on this case, it could be 12 or 24, but in this case it was 24 volts that went into the thermistor pin, which is why the CPU got fried in the first place. So that took the firmware, so I'm going to go ahead and put a regular non-testing firmware on here. I'm just putting our precompiled Ender 3 firmware on here. All right, so now to test the thermistors. To make sure that that circuitry isn't messed up, I want to make sure that these are reading close to ambient. So it's about right, 23 for the bed. Let's see what the extruder is reading. 23 for the extruder. So this is correct. So next thing I want to test is the end stops and make sure those work. So hang on, I see. I will get to your question in a sec here. I saw that. Thank you. I really appreciate the... You guys don't have to send us money. I do this because it's enjoyable. But I do appreciate it. I drink a lot of alcohol on these streams most of the time. Okay, so all three are showing triggered. So since this is stock firmware, if I short this, I should show open. Open, okay. Short this, Y is reading. Where is, hang on. Gotta make sure I get in there. And Z is not changing state. Let me try a jumper. Or actually, if I just do this. There we go. Okay. Open, triggered. Okay. And if I short this out, if I short the thermistor out, there we go. Max temp. Let's go ahead and reset that. Let's do the hot end. Should get max temp. There we go. Okay. So now the last thing I'll do, I'll do this off stream, but the last thing I'll do is hook up motors to each of these, test the MOSFET outputs. But this is looking like this is fixed now. But I'll check all this offline because it's really boring, to be honest. It's just going to be me hooking motors up and telling them to move. But the fact that the temps are reading correctly tells me that just the LPC got screwed and nothing else. So this board is fixed. So I'm going to set this over here so I know. All right, let me check live chat real quick here. Forecasting, it's intermittent in your mic. I'm not sure what you mean. Rosh in Ohio. Going to sub your easy ABL tomorrow. Awesome. Richard Cook. Large hail can indicate the presence of an unusually dangerous storm. Can happen before a tornado. Yeah, they have us under severe thunderstorm watch. Let me look up Hobart, Indiana radar. And luckily, I have the weather stations programmed in here. Let's see. Can't remember which one is our area.
Around 10:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Goshen around 11:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this storm include Jimtown, Southwest, Foraker, Wyant, and Woodland. The storm may intensify, so be certain to monitor local radio stations and available television stations for additional information and possible warnings from the National Weather Service. This is a severe thunderstorm watch. The National Weather Service has issued severe thunderstorm watch number 84, effective until 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Wednesday or 2 a.m. Central Daylight Time Wednesday. This watch includes the following counties in Indiana: Fulton, LaPorte, Marshall, Pulaski, St. Joseph, and Stark, and the following counties in Michigan: Berrien and Cass, and the following: New Buffalo, Michigan to St. Joseph, Michigan, Michigan City, Indiana to New Buffalo, Michigan, and Lake Michigan from Michigan City, Indiana to St. Joseph, Michigan, 5 nautical miles offshore to mid-lake. Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including large hail and damage.
Yeah, so this does WX7PA5 is the one in our area. This is I don't have my ham license, so I'm not transmitting on the licensed channels, just FRS for right now. All the licensing stuff is closed down because of the virus crap going on. But yeah, this is a handheld ham. This is a Baofeng BF-F8HP, so this is the 8-watt model, and I've got a Nagoya NA771 on here. So it's nice. I got it because if society does really degrade over all this crap and internet's down and the cell phone tower's down, myself and a bunch of other guys in the area, we all have radios. And to be honest, if shit's hitting the fan, I don't really give a shit about being licensed or not. We're going to try to communicate with each other to see what's going on. But my plan is over the next couple of weeks is study for the ham test and actually get licensed and get an actual desktop unit, put antenna up and all that other stuff. And I mean, I'm 31. I can do old man shit now. So, but I mean, it was only $80. It's a nice little radio for $80, and I have the programming cable here, so I can actually, that's how I program all the stations. So, but I use it every day for TH3D. So our guys in the shop, I don't have one sitting here, but they have little Cobra FRS radios, and I can use that to talk to the Cobras. So, all right, so that's one board down. The next one is going to be a little more work. Yeah, anybody do ham stuff on here? Let me see here. Okay, how's Aaron doing? Aaron messaged us today and he said he's doing better. So hopefully he'll be back next week. Large hail can indicate the presence of an unusually dangerous thunderstorm can happen before a tornado. Let's hope to God that's not the case. Luckily, we do have a concrete room that came with the house that's like under the porch, so that's where we go. And I'll be bringing that radio down there with me. I might not be able to get much signal down there, but it'll be better than nothing. And I got a bunch of UPSs and stuff and backup batteries and all the other fun shit. So at least we can try to get communications. Let's see here. I'm going to say her name wrong, but I'm going to try. Derek Sorello. Hey, Tim, does the CR10 mount for tough all-metal hot end compatible with the Ender 5? Is there a version with easy ABL support on the side? As far as I know, the heavy-duty V6 mount should fit the Ender 5 carriage. They're very similar, and I'm just trying. Hang on. Let me look at my carriages, because I got a 3, which is the same CR10 plate, and I also have the 5 Plus, which is the same as the Ender 5. So let me look. Hang on. I think it'll work, though. Yeah, I think it would fit. The V6 heavy duty mount would fit. I think the Hero Me also supports the V6 hot end. So basically, you want a V6 mount for your Ender 5 if you're using our tough hot end. So the tough hot end is directly compatible with the V6 mount. So anything that would fit a V6 onto there would work. I was just about to do something here. Oh well. Let's see. Hamstudy.org for free flashcards. All right, I appreciate that. I'm gonna bookmark that right now. Hamstudy.org. Cool. Bookmarked. All right. Don Keith, quick question. After I load the unified firmware on E16, the screen went crazy. This was before I ever printed anything. You might be using a newer version of our Arduino IDE. 1.8.7 on Windows is the one that I know for a fact works correctly with the firmware. There were some other versions like 1.8.10 that if you flashed firmware on certain machines, you would get LCD corruption. So I would recommend make sure you're using 1.8.7 on a Windows machine. It has been reported that 1.8.12 works on Mac OS and it's actually required for the latest Mac OS. But 1.8.7 Arduino is what you should be using to load firmware, preferably on a Windows computer. That's what we've, qualified it with. So the Arduino software is one of those things where you don't need to be on the latest because there's really not any security risks with a printer running outdated stuff or compiling. So that's what I would say is check that. You can also move your LCD cables away from anything that's like motor wiring, hot end wiring, power wiring, because the LCD cables, especially on machines with longer ones, are more prone to pick up interference, which can also result in corruption. That's one hell of an antenna. Can you talk to New York City? I don't think so. I know I can pick up a lot around here, especially if I go outside. Sean Butler, any idea when the Flex build sheets for the S5 will be in? I have a large shipment coming in, so we split our shipment up between air freight and sea freight because air costs a lot more. Which reminds me, I should probably check on that because I haven't seen. We got the air freight stuff in, which is when we restocked. Flex plate and magnet order. Okay, let me check the sea freight tracking and see if that actually landed. Ooh, literally today, the sea shipment landed in Carson, California. Literally today. So I'm showing that on, according to FedEx, which, let's be honest, it's probably not very accurate. They're saying we should have that shipment here by the 11th, which is Saturday. So ideally, pending no delays, I would say we're probably going to have that next batch of plates and magnets in on the 15th at the latest, which is good. So that means the cargo container that came in landed at the port and FedEx received them. So there we go. But I thought we had the Flex in for the 508. Let me check here. So it says we got 6 of the magnets in stock. So in terms of inventory, I use the same stuff you guys use. I literally go to our site and I see what we got. So 508 by 508, the smooth is out of stock, and so is the textured. Now here's the thing. I don't know how many I have. I have 2 that are already spoken for. But I'm going to be listing some B stock products. And what that means is that stuff that came to us and, like, let's say the corner got bent in shipping. We'll hammer it out and make it flat again so it's usable. But we don't sell that as new because I don't want to send you guys stuff that clearly has cosmetic damage. But I am going to be listing later this week, like Thursday or Friday. I'm going to put more B stock stuff on the site because I've got some plates that are the older versions with no coating on them. And B stock stuff where it came in and it had some sort of cosmetic issue. It's still 100% functional. And I know we have some 508s. The 508s, I want to say about 30% of the plates we got in for the 508s got fucked up in shipping. So But all of those we were able to take and hammer out and make them flat, and they're usable. You can just tell if you look at it, there's some, you know, rippling in the very corner, but it's still flat enough to print on. Let me see here. Stephen Hess, I have lots of radios. Awesome. I have some copper, half-inch copper pipe I built to make an antenna that I'm going to put up on the roof. If anybody has recommendations for like a desktop ham radio setup, that would be great, because I want to put one on my desk to hook up to the antenna that I'm going to mount on the roof. How do you organize all your 3D printing designs and STLs? So, TH Rudy here, we run on, for our email and our file storage, we actually run on Microsoft's Office 365 platform. So we use Exchange for our email, and then we also have SharePoint for the company. So each person has a 1 terabyte OneDrive for their personal stuff, and then we have a 1 terabyte SharePoint for everybody. So all of our STLs, we have different department folders, so like HR, accounting, you know, marketing, product files, print farm, a general shared folder. So we have all that stuff separated by product, and that's how we keep all the STLs in order. If you can replace a CPU with a soldering iron, you can pass the general test. Just saying. I can replace a CPU with a soldering iron. That hot air station, though, makes it a hell of a lot easier. I think there's a video on the channel of me replacing a CPU with my Hako. The enabling works beautifully on it. Oh, the Easy ABL. Okay. No, dude, the Easy ABL is like, I love them. Like, I'm glad that we make them, because I literally have them on every printer. If we didn't make them, I'd be buying them from somebody else at this point. But it's convenient, and it takes care of those shitty beds. What's up, Jerry? How are you doing, man? Sean Butler, nice. Stimulus is due on the 14th. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting something. We ain't getting shit because our business passes through to our personal income, so we're disqualified. Even though I can't spend all that money on myself without fucking the company, I don't get shit. So, yay! I'm not even gonna go into that. I go on a fucking rant about how they have no fucking idea how small businesses work, because basically if you have a business and you're an LLC and an S Corp, anything the company makes passes through to your personal income tax. So if the company made $200,000, even if that money is sitting in the company's account, okay? So like, let's say I've got 200 grand sitting in the company account, but I've only got like 20 grand in my account, okay? Because like, I'll be honest with you, I take $50,000 a year salary. I took a pay cut to do this stuff. It is what it is. I tried not to drain the company because we moved out here to reduce our costs. So by me taking a modest salary, I'm able to keep money in the company to keep things moving and pay people and order inventory and that kind of stuff. But what happens is with this stimulus shit, because the income from the company passes through to me and my wife, we're disqualified from any financial assistance. And in addition to that, if things do start going south in terms of sales, meaning sales drop off and we don't have revenue coming in and we have to lay people off, it's very unlikely that we're going to qualify for loan forgiveness. So if that ever happens, we'll have to scale down, like start cutting hours and then scale everything back, because we're not going to get shit from the government. So little companies like us that are doing okay, like I'm not making millions of dollars. I wish I was, but I'm not. But according to the government, we don't need any fucking help. So we don't get shit. But anyways, I digress. Is that the right word? I digress when you're going off on something and you're just like, let me pull back from a second. Digress. Leave the main sub. Yeah, there we go. So that is the correct word. For the Patriotic, I need a board from Enter 5 Plus. Eagerly waiting for info talk. So easy boards are in production right now. NXP is making CPU again. The company that makes the chips for Trinamic are making parts again. All the other all the other parts that go on our boards, capacitors, resistors, the fuses, the regulators, as far as we've gotten information from the board assembler that sources all these parts, and from Griffin, who's a contractor for us, he's our engineer, that manages all that production. As far as the information I have as of right now, we can get all those parts, so we've already started another batch of boards. What I don't have is an ETA on them. I will actually, like, talking about this now, I will follow up with them to see how far along they are on that process. But at one point, we completely halted production on the boards because we couldn't get processors. The only place we could get processors from were like older stock that had already been manufactured before all the virus crap happened, and they were gouging on the price. We're talking 5-6 times the cost on a processor that costs us $8 a piece. That's a significant increase, and that's just the processor. That's not including the TMCs and all the other parts. So we had paused production until everything kind of leveled back out. So everything's leveled back out now, and we've resumed production, but I don't have an ETA on when they'll actually be done, because we literally have, at the assembler house, they're flashing firmware. They test all the motor outputs, the thermistor inputs, the MOSFETs, the end stops, the LCD, everything. So because of that additional QC on every single board, like literally every single board, not just a random sample, every single board, it takes a while to actually get them ready to send to us, because they don't get sent to us until they pass all of that testing. So, but I will ping Griffin, who's the engineer that we use. He's on our website. I don't think I have a contact. I was going to tell you to bother him, but I realized I don't have a contact for him. But I'll ping him tomorrow and see where we're at with the production run. So hopefully we'll get them relatively soon. Webcams. Let's talk about fucking webcams right now. Logitech webcams are out of stock everywhere. The shitty little, and I shouldn't call them shitty. I call them shitty because they're cheap. But like the C270s and the C310s, those are what we use for the printers. That's what we sell with our Pi kits. I can't get fucking Logitech cameras anywhere. I can't get them from any of our bulk suppliers. I've got a couple suppliers we use that get them to us in bulk, so they're not the retail boxes. It's like we were, imagine if we were Dell or HP that sells cameras bundled with their computers. They don't send you a retail box typically. They send you it in just like a plastic bulk bag with like a little slip in there. I can't get any of that right now. And there's assholes charging $80 fucking for a Logitech camera that goes for, at most, the retail price I've ever seen on a 270 is like $35. On average, they're $25 to $29. Nobody has them right now. So, it's aggravating. I actually bought some really crappy 640 by 480 resolution cameras to put on my printers in my office here because they didn't have cameras, and I paid $26 a piece for these little pieces of shit. But you know what? It's enough for me to look at it remotely and see that it's printing or it failed. But stuff's crazy right now. Supply chains are all sorts of fucked up. Michael Castell, we're in a corporation. We're getting $12,000, and we had to sign up through the bank. We've been trying. We can't get anything. It's rough. So basically, our company, we're on our own. So I have to make smart decisions about what we're doing, to keep everything running. So I'm going to, like, if we have to lay people off, we will. It'll be temporary. But the fact is, based on everything I've seen and read and gone through in terms of all the financial assistance, we're not getting anything. We're not eligible. We would have to fall off a cliff in terms of revenue for X amount of time to do that. But also, here's the other kicker. They're basing the qualifications for the assistance based on the information I've seen. Now, I could be wrong, but they're basing that information off of 2019. So because 2019 was good for us, we don't qualify. So unless they change it to like where it's over the X period of months, so let's say sales fall off or inventory dries up and then sales fall off because we don't have anything to sell, I don't know what we're going to do other than, we scale back. We say, hey, we're not shipping as quickly, whatever. anyways, it's my problem to figure out, and we're monitoring everything closely. And right now, everything's good. I have no complaints. Everything's good. Aside from not being able to get Logitech cameras, everything else seems to be coming in steady. It's not as fast as it usually is, but our inventory's coming in. Things are moving. We're shipping quickly. Mondays, we get fucked because we get higher order volumes over the weekends, but we got caught up today. So, anyways, let's see here. Check B&H NYC. I already checked. I also checked Adorama. They want $40 for those cameras. And to be quite frankly, let's say I can get a bunch of 270s for $40 a piece. I'm going to have to charge $50 for them. I just feel dirty charging $50 for those cameras. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, like, I was like, okay, I'll bump the price up a little. I think we had like 12 of them left. And then we were going through and optimizing the print farm. And we were getting printers online and adding cameras. I was like, going through this process of getting the printers online, I'm like, shit, we only got 7 left. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull stock, and we're going to use those internally. And we'll get more when we can get them at a reasonable price. I also found one of our suppliers that does... where is it? I thought I had it laying around here. Oh, yeah. So here we go. Here's my shitty prototype. Hang on, wait. Capped on tape. Bam, cut open. These are the I/O pins for the ESP chip. So I've got one more set of prototypes of these coming in. And the supplier that is actually getting me these customized with our firmware and branding and everything, so we'll actually have our logo and everything on the front here. These will ship with our own flavor of Tasmota. These will be able to integrate directly with Octoprint to shut your printer off. So these are already on our website. They're not being sold, but we are taking emails so you can get notified. So we'll have 2 versions. There's the regular one and the Plus. The only difference between the two, they're exactly the same inside, except the Plus has extra chips in here to do power monitoring. So like amp draw, wattage, voltage, power factor, that kind of stuff. So these will be coming. This is a result of me buying some crappy plugs, these particular ones. These eFun ones, which you can look on our channel. There's a video. But flashing these with Tasmota to work with Octoprint is a pain in the ass, to be completely honest with you. You can do it. I have some of these being used right now. But someone said, hey, why don't you guys make your own? So I luckily was able to contact one of our suppliers that does IoT stuff. And they said, yeah. So I asked them what kind of chip was in the plugs they sent me. They sent me a bunch of different ones. This is the one I ended up settling on. So I'm really happy with these. The quality of these is really good. The pricing is really good. And the fact that they're able to load the firmware file I send them on these, so they're pre-flash with the Tasmota firmware, to work with Octoprint is fantastic. So I've got one more batch of prototypes coming in. So I've got 10 of them coming in. I've got 10 of these coming in to make sure that the firmware works correctly out of the box. See if there's any changes I have to do, because this is not the power monitoring one. Now, the PCB inside this one and the power monitoring one are exactly the same. The difference is they don't populate the power monitoring components on this standard version. So the firmware is going to be very similar between the two, but I need to get the power monitoring ones in to finalize the firmware on them. But if they're able to send me these plugs with our branding and with the firmware pre-flash, this is going to be awesome, because you'll literally plug this in, connect to your Wi-Fi network, and then there's a plugin for Octoprint for Tasmota that'll work with these. So this will turn your printer on and off from Octoprint. So after a print, it'll shut it off. And then to turn it back on, you go to Octoprint, click a little icon at the top, and it'll turn it on. So your printer will shut off after a print, which is really nice. I have them on a bunch of machines in here. So anyways, in terms of that same supplier we use, she deals with a lot of different industries over in Shenzhen, and she's working on actually getting us our own webcams that have H.264 hardware encoding on them so they don't strain the Pi's processor to process that video. They'll have a manual focus adjustment with a 120-degree wide-angle lens. So meaning right now when you do the 270s, they work, but they're slightly out of focus. And depending on your machine, you may or may not see the full printer bed. So the goal is to get webcams that not only have a manual focus adjustment, so you mount it on your printer, turn the lens to focus it for the distance that your printer is at, in terms of the printer bed to the camera. And I was going somewhere with this. I blame the wine and the beer. And they're 720p, and they'll be the same price as the Logitechs. So they have glass lenses, they're not plastic, manual focus adjustment, and, oh yeah, this is the last point, 120 degree field of view. So you'll be able to see more of the bed. The only problem is right now the factories that she has contacts with that can make those type of cameras, they're closed right now. So she's going to let me know when they reopen so I can get samples made. So, all right, so I've got one more board here. This one's more of a doozy. And I'm going to put a be right back like thing up here and use the restroom, and then we'll get cracking on the next board. Where the hell is my there we go. Let me just edit this. Start. And I will see you guys in less than 5 minutes. I'll be right back, okay? Alright, I'm back. Let's see here. Let's start with the second board. Scope cam. Alright. Oh, look at that. The camera, like... The camera locked up. Hang on. Let me reactivate. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. Okay, so this one, you can see there's a little hole in the CPU. And, he did a number on the FET there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't have a pre-order for the cam. So here's the thing. I have one printer here with a C615. Don't fucking do the C615s because they have autofocus and it just constantly tries to focus all the fucking time. The C270s, if you pop the faceplate off, there's 3 screws. Take those screws out. And if you look at the lens itself, it's like got little nubs in it, okay? You can turn that to adjust the focus. So, yeah. My next drink for tonight is New Glarus Spotted Cow. This is my all-time favorite beer, period. So, let's see if we can fix this. So I'm going to start by doing the fan FET. Where are my tweezers? Oh, they're over here. That MOSFET's just falling apart. That was definitely a short. Alright, so let's clean it up. Yeah, there is a command, but it's a pain in the ass to get it to actually execute. Because basically, if you got an autofocus camera, you have to have it execute on startup to disable the autofocus. If you do not, then you have to manually SSH in. I think init.d. Is that correct? It's been a while since I've done Linux stuff. And this is the same guy from the last board, so you can see this, just for my reference, 24706. So there we go. It cleaned up nicely. I really don't want to talk about Jeff Hoagland. Unfortunately, yes, he's an asshole. As righteous as he tries to sound, that guy's, ugh. I could rant about that idiot for hours. All right. So let's put some solder paste on here. Let me move this over here. All right. Yeah, except he probably doesn't taste very good. You understand? All right. Let's try solder paste. I think I put a little too much schmoo on there, but I guess we'll find out. Let me grab a new FET here. I've got a bunch of these on hand because people seem to not check their wiring, and blowing these out is not it's not a super common occurrence, but it's common enough for me to warrant having the parts on hand, because you'd be surprised at how many splice their stuff really poorly, and then they short the FET out. But I just want to point out, like, these repairs I'm doing, we're talking like maybe $30 or $40 with parts and labor, which I feel is very fair. But I don't know of any other companies that actually offer repairs on boards regardless of if you fucked them up or not. Luckily I'm a masochist and like doing this stuff, so... Yeah, I'll sum up the whole Jeff Holgan thing. He lacks the mental competence to agree to disagree on certain subjects that he likes to push on people. So because I won't change views on certain things that he feels are right because they're his views, and it's not even anything crazy. It's just stupid shit. He has literally blocked me, my brother, and my parents, and uses his children to manipulate my parents, because they don't have the same viewpoints he does. So that's the kind of person he is. I actually have a video on my personal channel that is unlisted right now, that I'm probably going to publish, that details all the shit he's gone into, because I have a problem with someone who tries to act like they're this high and mighty person that's good to everybody. Like, and then on the back end of things, he's a complete asshole. So I'm sorry, someone that uses their own children to manipulate their parents because they have differing views on certain things, that's fucked up. So, no, like, agree to disagree is not a cop-out. It's just, hey, we have different views. Let's just not talk about these things, because like him and I have a bunch of other stuff in common. You know, like there's a lot of other things that we can talk about other than fucking politics. And to be completely honest, on all fronts, left, right, center, whatever, I'm burnt out. I don't want to talk about fucking politics. I'd rather talk about electronics, computers, like, I don't know, DIY shit, anything. Like, there's so much more to life than fucking politics. And there's too many people that take it seriously, and they alienate all these people in their lives that are good people that have a lot of stuff to add to their life, and they want to ruin it over politics. And most of the time, the politics they're talking about, they have no influence over. So what's the fucking point? Like, life's too short to not have relationships with people that are good people, you know? But that's what I'm talking about by the fact of agree to disagree. Like, fine, whatever. We don't have to have the same viewpoints. We can talk about it, but quite frankly, I just don't want to talk about it anymore with him or anybody else. So, yeah, yeah. Then, like Neri said, then you just stop talking about it. Done. Leave the subject be and move on. That's what I'm talking about. He can't do that. So, all right, let's put the new FET in. I got the paste on there, and let's heat it up. There we go. All right, so we're looking pretty good there. You know, I could move it back a smidge, but it doesn't matter. All right. Yeah, I definitely need to be less generous with the solder paste. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I know enough to be dangerous, but I can tell I'm definitely using too much. But luckily, once I heat this up, it should all pull to the pads, and then I should be able to clean it up with the iron. Yeah, definitely too much paste, but like I said, nothing I can't take care of with my old trusty iron. So I'm learning here. Politics mean nothing to me as it's something I just know assholes versus assholes pick one to kiss. That it's life too short for that. Yeah. Like, why waste your fucking time? Well, that's definitely a low melting point. Oh no! Alright, I took a little too much off. We're just gonna do this the old school way. All good. As long as it's soldered. See, something like this, it's almost easier to just use your iron. Okay, mental note, less paste. And for smaller stuff, just use iron. It's just easier. Now, I don't think that the other set here is damaged. It doesn't look like it. Later, Destroyer Man. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Like, I look at it this way. I could be doing these offline, but I'd rather have the company of you guys. So I do see some solder on the side of that chip. There we go. And I'm just going to hit this one more time just to make sure everything's flowed in. Gonna touch that up and you can see here some of the solder mask actually came off, but it really does not matter. There we go. That looks good to me. Alright, so let's get this CPU off here. Same process, flux it, low melt solder, and then that's it. I have no idea how many people are watching, but if you're watching, just post something in the chat. I'm curious to see how many people we have here. Woohoo! 73, bullshit. There's no way there's 73 people watching me solder boards and ramble on about bullshit. No way. Woohoo! There we go. LPC gone. $4:20 a.m. Hell yeah. We're bored. Well, you guys are entertaining me. Joke's on you. I set up a live stream. You guys can entertain me while I'm doing some boring repairs. You all fell for it. Got him. What burns a driver? What current do you put on a mirror may be the one that burns my... what burns a driver? Usually shorts or overheating. But typically most drivers have overheat protection. In terms of Hemera, I would say probably whatever, like, if we're talking Creality printers, usually 800 on the current is good. Because that's a pretty big motor. And then also, you want to run your extruder in spread cycle, not stealth chop. You can run your extruder in stealth chop, but even Trinamic themselves do not recommend stealth chop for extruders because it's too low of torque. You might lose steps. So the question is, do you want your printer to be like ever so slightly quieter, or do you want to have your prints actually look correct? There's a reason we ship our firmware for these boards in spread cycle on the E and not stealth chop by default. And there's a disclaimer: if you use stealth chop, that if you have step loss, you should disable it because it's just a physics thing. Less torque equals less noise. However, less torque also equals missteps. So if you're running something on a gear extruder like a Titan or like our version of the Titan, which is called Tough Extruder, or a geared Bondtech, I don't know about you guys, but I'd much rather have my print be correct instead of having literally just a slight little reduction in noise, because spread cycle is pretty quiet compared to a 4988 driver. You can't have everything. There's always drawbacks to other stuff, and there's some people that are going to argue that, oh, well, I run it in stealth chop and have no issues. Good for you. In my testing, I've had issues intermittently with step loss with stealth chop on extruders, so that's why I don't run it. I'm all about making sure things are done correctly and things are done in a way that they don't mess up for our customers. So, and one of those things is not using stealth chop on your extruder axis. So, fight me. I don't know. All right. Now, I'm going to try to put less solder paste on these. This is way harder than it looks, just so you guys know. All right, I think I used less this time. But we'll see. I'm still gonna touch it up with the iron. It's just that little extra touch. I'd rather just make sure it's done correctly. I need to order more LPCs. After this one, I've only got 5 extras. And typically when people short out their hot end or a fan or something, it can kill the LPC. So I need to order some more LPCs. These chips that I'm putting on here, just letting you guys know, these cost me $12 each. Literally $12 each. Like, no joke. This chip, to get it to my door, cost me 12 bucks. And you guys wonder why our boards cost so damn much. These NXP chips, they're nice. They're stable. They're reliable. But, dear God, they're, like, to give you an idea, the STM32s that these other boards are using, they're like $1. Like, go look them up on Mauser or DigiKey. They're fucking expensive. But, then again, they have more features, they're faster, and in my opinion, they're better quality. Okay, I think we're looking good. Alright, let's do the hot air and then we'll touch it up with the Hako. Ah! I got too close. Fuck. Okay, I should be able to line that up. Alright, so this is I'm gonna get with the hot air. Touch up with the iron. I will say the hot air makes it a lot easier. So it does the bulk of the work. I feel like it does take less time with the hot air and the solder paste versus just going at it with the iron. Now, I can absolutely do it with the iron. I've done it. So, later, Viking. I miss you, man. You've burned 3 of the SKRs. I mean, I wouldn't say we burned them, but we had 2 DOA, and the third one worked, but I ended up parting it out. Alright, so let's go and hit this with the Hako, and apparently I haven't been active enough for my PIR sensor to pick me up, so my lights just shut off. Let's try this. Oh, that actually works pretty nice. So I just drag the iron over, and you can see here, I've got an accumulation of solder right here. So I can just hit this end part with the wick. But the other ones are good. Okay, I'm happy with those. Let me do this one. I'll probably have to wick this. Did you power test the new version? I don't know. Oh, I did. It was a lot better, but I don't know. I don't trust their quality. All right. So you see there, got a couple of pins sticking together. Nothing a little solder wood can't fix. Ah, I see what happened here. If you look, that one pad lifted. And the pin bent. Because the pad, now that's a non-essential pad. So the thing is, what I mean by non-essential is there's nothing connected to that pin. So I can try to straighten that out. Okay, so it looks like the pin's straightened out. There we go. So like I said, we actually don't use all the I/O pins on this board, or on this CPU. So it really doesn't matter if a pad does lift when we're doing a repair. Because, well, in terms of certain pads, but the ones that are just like there for soldering for like physical attachment points, it doesn't matter if the pad lifts or not. So, and that's one of these. That's what happened. So, because it didn't have a pad, because the pad lifted and didn't grab on, my soldering iron kind of took the pin with it. So you see here, I'm just hitting all the legs, just making sure, just lightly dragging these over. Making sure we got no bridges here. And look, we got some solder paste here. See this here? See the solder paste? Now, this will usually wash off with the wash when I do it. But I want to check, like right here. I don't know if this is bridged or if that's just the flux. It looks like it's just the flux, based on what I can see. So you see here, this pad lifted right here on this pin. But that's not a pin that's being used, so it doesn't matter if it's connected or not. Question is, did I do the? I think I already did these. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm gonna be signing off here in a sec. I'm just gonna flash the bootloader on this again. All this looks good. And then I'll test these all tomorrow offline. But it's already 10:30. I've been trying not to stay up super late. So I'm gonna hit this one more time with the hot air just to make sure I'm melting any solder paste that could be in the vicinity. And then I'll clean it off tomorrow. And then flash the bootloader, and then I'll have two fixed boards. And I've got one other one the guy sent in. It was a blown fan, but he also somehow messed up the USB port real bad. So I'll have to change that too. I don't know if he's aware of it, but I actually checked the original unboxing video from when he sent it in, and it was screwed. So all right. So I'm happy with that. So here's the thing. The 1.0 had a lot of issues with the 5-volt regulator design because it overheated because they didn't route their power correctly, which they accused me of lying about. But then, you know, they revised their entire board design based on the feedback I gave them. But they're still having issues with the power regulators on those. If you talk to anybody who's using a BL Touch on them, and not anybody, most people I've seen a lot of posts on their groups and stuff where people are running separate 5-volt regulators just to power their BL Touch because the one on the board can't handle it correctly. So, I mean, it's really a matter of you get what you pay for. The big Tree Tech boards will work, but for how long? You don't know. You know, you don't see people fixing their blown up Big Tree Tech boards. You don't see Big Tree Tech even offering to fix them for customers for a charge or whatever. Quite frankly, because it's not worth it. But in terms of our boards, like these are very hardy boards, and under normal use and, you know, people not blowing them up, they last a very long time. I've got some here that are over a year old that I use literally every single day. So, you know, but it's really simple. You get what you pay for. I'm not saying the Big Tree Tech boards won't work. It's just, you know, what do you want to spend? Is having uptime important for you, or is saving a couple bucks important for you? So, you know, you guys do whatever you want with your machines. Doesn't bother me at all. But me, I can't in good conscience even resell the Big Tree Tech boards, knowing the fact that they have so many electrical faults and they're not reliable. And that's ignoring any potential customer issues, meaning, you know, meaning people getting pissed off because the board failed after, you know, a few months. So, but all right, I'm happy with that. I'll get this flash tomorrow. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope you guys are staying safe. I don't know if you guys saw. Let me shut these off. I don't know if you guys saw, but the CDC is officially recommending people wear face masks when you're out. So make sure you guys are doing that, because the main thing is, if you're asymptomatic and you have the human malware that's going around, you don't want to spread it to people. So even use cut up a t-shirt, make your own mask. That's what I've been doing. We have some masks and we've been reusing them. So I have some surgical masks. I think I have like 20 of them, and we've been sterilizing them with IPA and reusing them. So do your guys' part, because this all needs to go back to normal. It's really sucks what's going on, but it is what it is. I appreciate everybody's support. I hope you guys had a good time watching me fumble around with some boards, and I will talk to you guys later. And as always, happy printing and stay safe out there, please. Talk to you guys later.